life I had no idea that a person could reach into the realm of the divine and sublime and experience God in a way that I now know to be true. I was brought up as an atheist, and so the whole idea of God or of people having faith in a God seemed ludicrous and foolish to me. Then I met my twin flame. In meeting him, I felt within me but also emanating from him a love so huge and so unlike any that I had ever known. He was like the sun that warmed up all the unloved, hidden parts of my heart and soul covered by eternal ice, never to be rediscovered, always to be kept from the light. The feelings of recognition, belonging, and remembrance, of unconditional love, acceptance, friendship and passion knocked me into another dimension. It seemed as if the whole universe, God, had conspired to bring us together. I had never felt the closeness of God, or anything remotely like it, but suddenly I caught myself feeling complete, at one with him, the world and with God. All my feelings of not belonging that had plagued me since my earliest childhood suddenly dissipated in the comfort of our immediate and timeless connection, and in the call to return home emanating from the cosmos, which reassured me that this was the love that I had been waiting for all my life. I felt the divinity within me start to awaken, and I realized that the God that I had denied existed was not in the unattainable vastness of the celestial realms, but fully conscious and fully present in me. Clearly this God knew me better than I knew myself by not only sending me my perfect reflection, but also the physical manifestation of the person I had loved since the beginning of time. My twin flame was so perfect in my eyes that only perfection itself could have created him. Of this I was convinced. Images Gabi 7204. Yearning for oneness. Unfortunately, what often follows these shortly lived moments of love, friendship and passion is the inevitable separation, and our story is no different. With our twin flame we are so close to the intensity of oneness with God that nothing other than pure love can withstand it. When we are not able to remain in the high vibration of unconditional love, the magnetic pulse simply reverses and creates repulsion. The reason this happens is that God, just like our twin flame, cannot give us our answers until we set ourselves in the correct position towards them. Both are here to point to the answers that are already within us. We are only meant to search within, to get to know ourselves and our own truth, to fully connect with the divine guidance in our hearts, which in turn leads us home to our twin flame and God. The thing is, when the longing and memory of love of such magnitude is in a person's heart, and when one has tasted such love, then one will do everything to feel that love again. Everything, that is, except to face their own soul, their own pain, initially at least. Many get caught in the illusion that somehow they can avoid their internal work and instead seek to find that feeling of fulfillment and nourishment either by pursuing their twin flame or by throwing themselves into other relationships, work, casual sex, etc. I was no different. Instead of facing myself head-on, I fell back into my old relationship, and then eventually into a new one. Nevertheless, while the soul never stops wanting union within itself, sooner or later it also starts to yearn for the original feeling of oneness with its source. While it is undeniably the voice of our twin flame which beckons to us from the dark when we stand on the edge of surrender, only the closeness with God can fill every empty place, every feeling that is less than whole, less than perfect. In surrender, we reclaim this closeness by releasing our illusion of separation by rising into oneness with God. It is here that we realize why our twin flame has been kept away from us. It is because God does not want us to depend on anyone else for our sense of completion, or for being able to connect with the flow of divine love within us. We are to recognize the source of these things within our own being first. My twin flame once asked me how I had come to know God if I had not read any spiritual books, followed any gurus, or read any holy books. To put it simply, Since it was with him that I first experienced the closeness of God, I sought God because it was the only way for me to stay close to him. There was no way for me to separate who he is to me from my connection with God. They were always part of the same experience, of the same love. There is a saying that a woman's heart must be so lost in God that a man must seek him in order to find her, and truly this is what happened. Through my surrender, I gave myself completely to God's will. He took my emptiness and filled my heart with love and spiritual insights until this love started to overflow. I understood that it had been my error to seek my wholeness through my twin flame before finding it within myself. I was then able to go on with my life pain-free, knowing that the day would come when my twin flame would also rise into oneness with God and recognize me as the one who was sent to guide him to salvation. I never doubted that this would happen, and indeed it did. Once we come to trust the divine plan in place and seek to align ourselves with it, we can simply allow this love to flow freely, without triggers, without expectations, without dilemmas. Knowing that this love comes from our own closeness with God, nothing anyone can do or say can take it away from us. Then once we focus this love towards divine service, then all other life, including our twin flame, responds in patterns of their own perfection. This love is then delivered to the world in a joyful act of worship which helps uplift others and points them towards the one clear answer: closeness with God. On my journey I have learned that the path to true and lasting union is for both twins, together or apart, to first achieve wholeness within, in union with God. Both twins must feel these things on their own and must come to recognize themselves as part of the equation, within the bigger plan that God has for them. Ultimately, the union with our twin flame is only a reflection of our own togetherness in love with God, which once sealed in the celestial realms has no choice but to manifest into the physical plane as such as the divine law, as above, so below. As within, so without. We hope this channel has helped you discover where to start on your actual paths. It's a good karma to put a like, subscribe and share. Leave your suggestion in the field below. With all the love to you.